This is a video on A Guide to Wealth from the wisdom of Naval Ravikant, which is what the book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, came from. If you haven't heard of Naval Ravikant, he's an entrepreneur, an investor, and one of the co-founders of AngelList. He's known for his unique perspective on life, success, and business, and this book is full of his wisdom. It covers a wide range of topics from wealth creation and investing to happiness, personal growth, and mindfulness. So whether you're looking to build wealth, find happiness, or simply just gain some valuable insights into life, this book has something for everyone. Also, the link for the book is in the description. So now let's explore some key insights and lessons from Naval Ravikant's Almanac. So the first thing in the book that I highlighted was making money is not a thing you do, it's a skill you learn. So the first part I'm going to go through is understand how wealth is created. So it says, I like to think that if I lost all my money and you dropped me on a random street in any English speaking country, within 5 or 10 years I'd be wealthy again, because it's just a skill set I've developed that anyone can develop. So this is why learning how money works and how to build wealth is so important. It's probably one of the most important things, because you can learn how to do any job you want, and if you're then booted out your job, how are you going to earn money without having that job? Whereas wealth creation is a whole topic of itself on just how to make money. So any millionaire, billionaire, you take everything away from them, they'd be able to get it all back because it's knowledge. And knowledge is how they earn the money. He then goes on to say it's not really about hard work, because you can work in a restaurant for 80 hours a week and you're not going to get rich. Getting rich is about knowing what to do, who to do it with, and when to do it. It is much more about understanding than purely hard work. Yes, hard work matters and you can't skimp on it, but it has to be directed in the right way. And it also then says, if you don't know yet what you should work on, the most important thing is to figure it out. You should not grind at a lot of hard work until you figure out what you should be working on. Now here's all the key points. How to get rich without getting lucky. Seek wealth, not money or status. Wealth is having assets that earn while you sleep. So that's the main thing. You can't work 24-hour days, but you can have investments that work for you without you personally putting the hours in. So it's about having assets, as everyone usually knows. Money is how we transfer time and wealth. So everyone works for money, really. So if you have a lot of it, you can pay someone else, for example, like businesses, to do that work for you, which you can't personally do yourself, but it can buy you time. Status is your place in the social hierarchy. Understand ethical wealth creation is possible. If you secretly despise wealth, it will elude you. Ignore people playing status games. They gain status by attacking people playing wealth creation games. So on the whole, people that despise wealth, you'll never be wealthy if you think it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's all about perception, as I say a lot. You can make money bad or you can make money good. Depends what you use it for. Like the rain, for example, one person can be walking the dog, I saw this in a short form recently, and be sad it's raining, and another person can be a farmer and they need the water for their crops. You're not going to get rich renting out your time. You must own equity, a piece of a business, to gain your financial freedom. So even property or investments, for example, it's fairly hard to get financial freedom quickly, or 100% financial freedom, because you're still kind of linked into it, if you know what I mean. You will get rich by giving society what it wants but does not yet know how to get at scale. So again, providing value in some way, whether that's products, clothes where people feel happy buying it, or it helps them to have more status, or health, just anything that helps people. Pick an industry where you can play long-term games with long-term people. The internet has massively broadened the possible space of careers. Most people haven't figured this out yet. Online's massive. YouTube's looking like, and people that work on social media is just billions of dollars within the industry. It's looking like it's going to double within the next years. Play iterated games. All returns in life, whether in wealth, relationships, or knowledge, come from compound interest. You've just got to do things for a long period of time, and you either work more things out, you get better at it. And there's like a graph that I've seen, and it's like flat, and then it starts going up and up and up. And most people quit in the flat line. And then also sometimes it goes like that, and then like that, and then down, and then back up, mad. And a lot of people then quit in that part as well, because they think that it's all over after they've seen all the success. They're like, oh, I failed now, and then that's when they quit. Pick business partners with high intelligence, energy, and above all, integrity. Don't partner with cynics and pessimists. Their beliefs are self-fulfilling. Learn to sell, learn to build. If you can do both, you will be unstoppable. Arm yourself with specific knowledge, accountability, and leverage. Leverage is a massive thing in business and wealth, because social media, if you was to have one person that puts ads out on newspapers and one person that uses social media that can go out to possibly billions of people, obviously you know who's going to earn more and do better. Specific knowledge is knowledge you cannot be trained for, so you can't be replaced. Like most jobs, the reason they pay what they pay like a cleaner is because anyone can do it. It's not being tight in any way. If a cleaner, a waiter, majority of low paying jobs is because anyone can do it. And it's just a sad reality. You get paid for what you're worth and how easily you can be replaced. So if society can train you, it can train someone else to replace you. Specific knowledge is found by pursuing your genuine curiosity and passion rather than whatever is hot right now. And that's the same with jobs. I know it's a big cycle everyone's in, but everyone goes straight into a job that they don't know they're going to enjoy. You don't know you want to be a doctor. It's been built into you by parents or because you think doctor's the highest paying job, and people end up getting the qualifications or doing the training and they just keep thinking, when I've done my training it'll be better. When I become qualified doctor it'll be better. When I get my certain specification within the hospital and become a surgeon it'll be better. And then when they get there they think, oh, I don't actually like this. Building specific knowledge will feel like play to you, but will look like work to others. When specific knowledge is taught, it's through apprenticeships, not schools. Specific knowledge is often highly technical or creative. It cannot be outsourced or automated. Embrace accountability and take business risks under your own name. Society will reward you with responsibility, equity and leverage. And there's a quote, give me a lever long enough and a place to stand and I will move the earth. Archimedes. Fortunes require leverage. Business leverage comes from capital, people and products with no marginal cost of replication, code and media, for example. Capital means money. To raise money, apply your specific knowledge with accountability and show resulting good judgment. So this is another thing with like property, for example. Everyone that's low in property or doesn't have many properties that then struggles and ends up failing use their own money, whereas all the people at the top, they probably use their own money at the start and then start using other people's money. But because they then get specific knowledge and let's say they've been in it for 10 years, they've proved that they can make money from it, then people think, oh, it works, I'll give them my money, and then they use other people's money to make more money and also give them money back. Labour means people working for you. It's the oldest and the most fought over form of leverage. Labour leverage will impress your parents, but don't waste your life chasing it. So labour is all good, like having someone working for you, but it's still a struggle because you've got to pay someone's wage. If they're sick, you need someone else to do the work, and that's why a lot of online social media and online business models are a lot better nowadays, because you don't, like, look at Amazon. I know they have people that have to take parcels, but they only really need like a few coders and people that work on the app, for example, rather than having shops of Amazon and everyone goes and has to look around and they need all people to run the shop. Sorry, this is all a lot of reading, but it is all reading. It's raw text from the book that I'm giving you specific knowledge from. Capital and labour are permissioned leverage. Everyone is chasing capital, but someone has to give it to you. Everyone is trying to lead, but someone has to follow you. Code and media are permissionless leverage. They're the leverage behind the newly rich. You can create software and media that works for you while you sleep. This is what I'm saying, why online business, social media is so much better. You can post a video that makes you money 2 years, you'll still be earning money from it. And then you can also create courses like a lot of people do and earn money while you sleep, or you can, like everyone creates clothing brands, and again you can earn money while you sleep. And then specifically on the business side, people create certain apps or websites that save people money in some way by just using code and then sell it on for like absolutely millions. An army of robots is freely available. It's just packed in data centers for heat and space efficiency. Use it. If you can't code, write books and blogs, record videos and podcasts. I don't know if it said near or somewhere else, just like Joe Rogan, how he's got his podcast, it's pretty huge, and he just makes absolutely millions from it, and it's just leverage and talking. He just talks and earns money to talk. And same with people that get big. As soon as you get well known, people have to pay a lot more for you to come and talk at their event or to come on their channel or come on their podcast. Leverage is a force multiplier for your judgment. Judgment requires experience, but can be built faster by learning foundational skills. It's a really big part that I've already learned, but there is no skill called business. Avoid business magazines and business classes. People that go, you'll know at school, and it's obvious when you do business at school and you're getting taught by someone that doesn't run a business, that works as a teacher, that is just reading off a screen, that's all information that they've just been given. So then there's even university, I can't say all, but nearly all have not got a business of their own, and if they had a business, then I wonder why they're now a teacher. Maybe because it's failed. So you're getting taught how to do business by people that don't have a business. It's like getting taught how to fish by someone that doesn't know how to fish. You're not going to catch any, are you? Study microeconomics, game theory, psychology, persuasion, ethics, mathematics, and computers. Reading is faster than learning, doing is faster than watching. You should be too busy to do coffee while still keeping an uncluttered calendar. Set and enforce an aspirational personal hourly rate. If fixing a problem will save less than your hourly rate, ignore it. If outsourcing a task will cost less than your hourly rate, outsource it. This is a big one, but it only works when you're fairly established, but it's what I will do. If it takes you hours altogether a week to go get your food, then cook it, then eat it, and you could use them hours to make a video that could earn you money, to do business, to get clients, whatever it possibly is, you could do that and you'd earn more than it'd cost you to pay someone like a chef to just do your food for you. Work as hard as you can, even though who you work with and what you work on are more important than how hard you work. Become the best in the world at what you do. Keep redefining what you do until this is true. There are no get-rich-quick schemes. Those are just someone else getting rich off you. Apply specific knowledge with leverage and eventually you will get to what you deserve. See, that's very true. You gotta find what you want to do, find what you don't want to do, and then make sure it has some sort of leverage or a way you can stand out, and you'll, in the end, be fine. When you're finally wealthy, you'll realise it wasn't what you were seeking in the first place, but that is for another day. Summary: productize yourself. Now here's examples of what specific knowledge could be. Sales skills, musical talent with the ability to pick up any instrument, an obsessive personality, you dive into things and remember them quickly. Love for science fiction, you're into reading sci-fi, which means you absorb a lot of knowledge very quickly. Playing a lot of games, you understand game theory pretty well. Gossiping, digging into your friend's network, that might make you into a very interesting journalist. The specific knowledge is sort of this weird combination of unique traits from your DNA, your unique upbringing, and your response to it, almost baked into your personality and your identity. Then you can hone it. No one can compete with you on being you. Most of life is a search for who and what needs you the most. So further on that, I remember seeing this study, and authenticity is the strongest energy. People like I said, did a study, and the one person that was like most interesting was the people that was fully authentic, like they were just how they were, because people can sense fake people just psychologically. So you need to do what you want to do and not do something for someone else. And like if you have a specific interest, like Lego for example, and you have another interest, you can link into that and then make YouTube or business, just anything about it, and you'll find other people that have your similar interests. So, but also don't fully niche down, just all your little skills you have, try and put them together, if you know what I mean. And this is why I remember reading a book, and there was this guy that's become a psychologist, wrote books, done courses, and he was such a good psychologist because he went through an illness where he couldn't move or speak, could only use eyes. So became really good at reading body language, also like verbal cues and how people say things in certain ways, just everything to do with looking at someone, listening and communicating non-verbally, also verbally, because he'd work out what tone people use of voices and while they was in other rooms and everything. Specific knowledge is found much more by pursuing your innate talents, your genuine curiosity and your passion. It's not by going to school for whatever is the hottest job. It's not by going into whatever field investors say is the hottest. Very often, specific knowledge is at the end of knowledge. It's also stuff that's only now being figured out or is really hard to figure out. It's if you're not 100% into it, somebody else who is 100% into it will outperform you. And they won't just outperform you by a little, they'll outperform you by a lot, because now we're operating the domain of ideas. Compound interest really applies and leverage really applies. The internet has massively broadened the possible space of careers. Most people haven't figured this out yet. You can go on the internet and you can find your audience, and you can build a business and create a product and build wealth and make people happy, just uniquely expressing yourself through the internet. The internet enables any niche interest as long as you're the best person at it to scale out. And the great news is, because every human is different, everyone is the best at something being themselves. Another tweet I had that is worth weaving in but didn't go into the how to get rich tweet storm was very simple. Escape competition through authenticity, like I said earlier. Basically, when you're competing with people, it's because you're copying them. It's because you're trying to do the same thing, but every human is different. Don't copy. And this is what people don't understand, or don't research, or don't care. How, like I said, you can do anything you want and be yourself, and in the end, make it your career. Like, look at people that like stream or play Minecraft and make YouTube videos about it and get absolutely millions of views. And they do that for a job. They're playing Minecraft, for example, enjoying what they do and earning off of it. And it's the same with people like fitness influencers. They literally go to the gym, work out, show what they eat, and end up making absolutely loads and having flash cars, then joining in with business partnerships, then having people sponsor them, then open their own clothing store. And it's just mad how it is nowadays. You can just be yourself, do what you enjoy, and earn money. He then goes on further to say, I only really want to do things for their own sake. That is one definition of art. Whether it's business, exercise, romance, friendship, whatever, I think the meaning of life is to do things for their own sake. Ironically, when you do things for their own sake, you create your best work. Even if you're just trying to make money, you will actually be the most successful. He says, the year I generated the most wealth for myself was actually the year I worked the least hard and cared the least about the future. I was mostly doing things for the sheer fun of it. I was basically telling people, I'm retired, I'm not working. Then I had the time for whatever was my highest valued project in front of me. By doing things for their own sake, I did them at their best. The less you want something, the less you're thinking about it, the less you're obsessing over it, the more you're going to do it in a natural way. The more you're going to do it for yourself. You're going to do it in a way you're good at, and you're going to stick with it. The people around you will see the quality of your work is higher. Follow your intellectual curiosity more than whatever is hot right now. If your curiosity ever leads you to a place where society eventually wants to go, you'll get paid extremely well. If they can train you to do it, then eventually they will train a computer to do it. So this is another thing. Look at people that started YouTube 10 years ago. You'll know the main names like Roman Atwood, PewDiePie, Mr. Beast. They all started it when it was small and not many people was on it, and it was hard to grow. And now look how massive they are. You are waiting for your moment when something emerges in the world. They need a skill set, and you're uniquely qualified. You build your brand in the meantime on Twitter, on YouTube, and by giving away free work. You make a name for yourself, and you take some risks in the process. When it is the time to move on to the opportunity, you can do so with leverage, the maximum leverage possible. People that have big social media following, they can just get around things so much easier. Like, as soon as you're established, as soon as you're doing well, you can pay an editor so you get better videos. If you're in fitness, you can pay a cameraman so you get better videos. If you need help to start your own business, you can just reach out to someone, or you can find a mutual person that's big on YouTube and they'll know someone how to go into business. It just all gets so much easier as you have a following online. There are three broad classes of leverage. One form of leverage is labour, other humans working for you. It is the oldest form of leverage and actually not a great one in the modern world. He says, I would argue this is the worst form of leverage that you could possibly use. Managing other people is incredibly messy. It requires tremendous leadership skills. So I said that early. Having labour or people work for you as leverage is not the greatest. You're one short hop from a mutiny or getting eaten or torn apart by the mob. Money is a good form of leverage. It means every time you make a decision, you simply multiply it with money. Capital is a trickier form of leverage to use. It's more modern. It's the one that people have used to get fabulously rich in the last century. It's probably been the dominant form of leverage in the last century. You can see this by looking for the richest people. It's bankers, politicians in corrupt countries who print money, essentially people who move large amounts of money around. If you look at the top of very large companies, outside of technology companies, many large old companies, the CEO job is really a financial job. It scales very, very well. If you get good at managing capital, you can manage more and more capital much more easily than you can manage more and more people. The final form of leverage is brand new, the most democratic form. It is products with no marginal cost or replication. This includes books, media, movies, and code. Code is probably the most powerful form of permissionless leverage. All you need is a computer. You don't need anyone's permission. The most interesting and the most important form of leverage is the idea of products that have no marginal cost of replication. This is the new form of leverage. This was only invented in the last few hundred years. It started with the printing press, it accelerated with broadcast media, and now it's really blown up with the internet and with coding. Now you can multiply your efforts without involving other humans and without needing money from other humans. This book is a form of leverage, so the book that I read that this is from. Long ago I would have had to sit in a lecture hall and lecture each of you personally. I would have maybe reached a few hundred people, and that would have been that. So that's what I'm saying, why social media is so much better than newspapers and the old way of things. The newest form of leverage is where all the new fortunes are made, all the new billionaires. For the last generation, fortunes were made by capital. The people who made fortunes were the Warren Buffetts of the world. But the new generation's fortunes are all made through code or media. Joe Rogan making 50 million to 100 million a year from his podcast. You're going to have PewDiePie. I don't know how much money he's rolling in, but he's bigger than the news. And of course, there's Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Bill Gates, and Steve Jobs. Their wealth is all code-based leverage. Then a little quote, "You're never going to get rich renting out your time." That was from the start as well. Sales is an example, especially very high-end sales. If you're a real estate agent out there selling houses, it's not a great job, necessarily. It's very crowded, but if you're a top-tier real estate agent, you know how to market yourself and you know how to sell houses. It's possible you could sell 5 million mansions in 1/10 of the time, while somebody else is struggling to sell $100,000 apartments or condos. Real estate agent is a job with input and output disconnected. Earn with your mind, not your time. That's a very big one. That's a new way of social media, really. What is the most important thing to do for younger people starting out? Spend more time making the big decisions. There are basically 3 really big decisions you make in your early life: where you live, who you're with, and what you do. It's a big thing about going where you're worth. There's that thing that a lot of people have heard by now about a guy gave a car to his son, or there's loads of different ones. A guy gave a watch to his son, a guy gave a car to his daughter. Anyway, and asked him to go and find out how much it's worth. And they went to 3 different places. Went to one place, oh, it's only worth 100. Went somewhere else, oh, it's only worth $1,000, so a bit more. Went to see how much it could be scrapped for, so a car, and said, I'll give you $200. And it went back to his dad and said all of that, and they said, oh, okay, why don't you take it to that antiques place, wherever. So they go, come back, oh, it's worth 200,000, and yeah, it's going where you're worth. So with that, on like real estate, for example, or sales, you could either be a salesman and try and sell pens or paper or something, or you can be a salesman and go and sell private jets where you get a commission. You either get a commission of, let's say, 5% on private jets, so you sell a private jet that's worth like 10 million and get 50 grand, or you get a commission on pens that are worth £1, and you obviously got to sell absolutely millions and billions to try and actually earn a good amount. So I make a lot of videos on self-improvement, health, wealth, relationships, not much relationships, psychology, philosophy, but as you know, you cannot have wealth without health. So if you've enjoyed this video, you should watch this screen on now that's all about health.